Alright, how's it going guys? Thanks for joining me once again for yet another video. This is a long-awaited video that I've been meaning to do for quite some time, but I actually had to do the listening and research for it, but I finally have, so I'm very happy to present this today. What I'm doing is another unboxing slash review, and this is by a group that, well, sorry, not a group, a project that I have reviewed a few months ago actually. That was the project known as PSUCHAGOGOI from the United Kingdom. As if you missed that video, it's a one-woman project performed by a woman called Cryptogeist. Does everything herself, all the instrumentation and vocals, and it's sort of dark ambient, and I'll get into that in more detail. You'll remember that in that video a few months ago I reviewed the EP Landscape Shifter, which is absolutely fantastic. I'll link that in the description because I've already given a detailed review of this one, and we'll take it out for you to show you properly. That's what the cover looks like. So this was the EP prior to the album that I'm reviewing today. This was released on Victims of Fate. And you may have also heard me talk about another album that I've got by her, which is Under a Green Light, which I've mentioned in various threads and also in the last review. Yeah, also a great album. And then the one I'm actually reviewing today, this is unprecedented. This is the first tape I've ever reviewed on this channel because, as I mentioned at the very beginning, I don't collect tapes anymore, not because I dislike them, but just because I don't have a tape deck. Having said that though, now that they're coming back into fashion and I'm getting cool stuff like this, I might actually buy a tape deck. So anyway, PSUCHAGOGOI, meaning Evocators of Souls, fantastic dark ambient project from UK, as I mentioned, and this is her new album. When I say her, you know, the project, or Cryptogeist project, yeah, this is Secrets of the Golden Palace, and I'm sorry I looked at that because I've been reviewing this title all afternoon, but yeah, this is the album I'm reviewing today. I actually bought the digital copy of this, so I've actually heard all of the tracks. So what I'm firstly going to do is talk about the music a bit and then unbox this cool looking tape. Yep, so PSUCHAGOGOI, Under a Golden Palace. So like I've mentioned, if you haven't heard this before, I would recommend this project for fans if you like any or a combination of the following groups or projects: Aghast, Mortis, Neptune Towers, Burzum, like the kind of electronic period of Burzum, Lull, Beherit, Streborg, Zaster, and even aspects of Horner. So you can see what a lot of those groups have in common is they're dark ambient to some degree, but there's different styles. There's minimalist or the more melodic or medieval sounding. Yeah, PSUCHAGOGOI, it's like a combination of dark ambient and dungeon synth, as well as aspects of black metal, and I think it's really original, and it's just getting better and better. So this one builds on Landscape Shifter, the previous EP. It has a lot of aspects in common with that, but as always with every album by this particular project, it has a character and identity of its own. So my descriptions are going to be pretty detailed as usual. It's the only way I feel I can effectively do it, so sorry if I go on too long, but here we go. Alright, and hopefully my description of each song will give you a reasonable impression of the album, like enough detail. Hopefully not too much. Okay, so this album opens with a track entitled The Shimmering Clouds. So this consists of an epic and wondrous synth intro. However, it quickly becomes very dark with the low end effects and cold ambient drones. In that sense, it's very akin to Neptune Towers, which was the dark ambient project of Fenris from Darkthrone, most famously. It also maintains some wondrous sounding parts with an overall atmosphere of coldness and darkness. So again, like Neptune Towers, and because, you know, it's very Neptune Towers in the sense that it's got this extremely spacey vibe. So when I hear this track, The Shimmering Clouds, I think it could be the soundtrack to planetary formation or looking at phenomena in space to demonstrate the vastness of the solar system or universe, which is a subject that I have an interest in. It conjures those images in my head, so that's amazing. This track is often melodic and triumphant sounding, but with an underlying feeling of uneasiness, as is often the case with this group. And this track peaks with an eerie synth melody, which just sounds creepy as hell. So great opening track, The Shimmering Clouds, Then we go into track 2, the title track, which is Secrets of the Golden Palace. This is immediately dark and mysterious sounding, like being locked inside an ancient mystical castle or fortress. Like think of something from the computer arcade game Golden Axe, or maybe, you know, the Crystal Palace in Conan the Destroyer, something like that. So it really conjures these mystical fantasy images in your head, which is great. This is followed by some dungeon-like gurgling vocals and dark and eerie synth riffs with a soaring melody overarching it all. This track gradually becomes more epic, melodic and atmospheric with the synth melodies, and also evolves into some melodic clean vocals, which are very slow and emotive, kind of conveying those emotions of sadness or yearning. At least in my opinion, that's what it sounds like. So the track then ends with some creepy dissonant synth riffs and some dark raspy whispers. So again, an eerie and creepy outro. Fantastic. Then we go on to track 3, which is entitled My Eyes Witness the Hatching of New Mysteries. This track has an immediate Neptune Towers vibe, particularly the more melodic and triumphant sounding aspects of the Neptune Towers album Transmissions from Empire Algol. It then descends into some deep dark ambient with retching raspy vocals at quite a low pitch. And in this song there are just some fantastic eerie synth sequences and also some depressive melodic vocals before some cold and minimalist dark ambient, which sounds scary as hell once again. So I think this band is just getting creepier and creepier in terms of the sound. The evil raspy vocals continue to the backdrop of unsettling synth melodies, which increase in urgency. And with this particular track, it's sort of, if it was to conjure an image in my mind, it would be like a glowing, flickering forest at night. So again, highly atmospheric, and I love that stuff. So fantastic. Then we go into track 4, entitled Take Flight Above the Waves. What's amazing about this track is it's very much like an onomatopoeia, you know, like with music imitating the sounds of nature. It's got a melodic and striking intro, and the atmosphere is mystical and conjures images in a mysterious way of the sea or the ocean, in the same way as Enya, for example. Now, I know what you're thinking, what the fuck, Enya? But you know, like that, Enya very much conjures that mystical image or those elements of the sea, and this track does it in the same way, without sounding like Enya, of course, but with the melody, it's just very striking. And the synths, what's interesting is, as I mentioned, the synths mimic the movements and sounds of the waves, so it really is like an onomatopoeia. Then the melodies descend into a dark and mournful atmosphere, of course, which is again unsettling at times. Like unsettling is an adjective which I often use to describe this music, and I mean it in a good way. It conjures powerful emotions. So this track, Take Flight Above the Waves, it's an enchanting track, and then towards the end, it literally descends into darkness as the melodies go lower. So that's fantastic. Then we move into track 5, entitled Crystalline Echoes. This has a very mournful and sorrowful atmosphere at the beginning with some melody. It then ascends into this epic kind of fanfare sound with loads of keyboard melodies, but once again quickly becomes dark and spacey, again similarly in the same vein as Neptune Towers, you could say. What I really like about this track, Crystalline Echoes, is that there are also some really off-the-wall minimalist synth sequences, and then it goes back into the dark melody and unsettling ambient drones and creepy melodies. So you see there's a unifying aspect to these tracks while they're diverse, but they're, you know, you keep hearing me mention these adjectives: dark, unsettling, enchanting, because they are. Okay, then we go into track 7, which is perhaps my favorite track on the album. I'm not sure yet. That's entitled Nocturnal Grounds of the Golden Palace. So you see what I mean? What a fantastic title. It immediately conjures these fantasy, powerful images in your head, you know, like a palace at night, you know, in blackness or something. But I really find with these titles, like they conjure an image and then the music tells the story. So it's absolutely fantastic. So Nocturnal Grounds of the Golden Palace, that starts with a wondrous ambience followed by a haunting and unsettling piano melody to the backdrop of dark ambient drones. It sounds truly evil, and some of the synth sounds remind me a little bit of electronic era Beherit, like that album Electric Doom Synthesis, for example, which is a great thing, of course. The track then descends into darker ambience with raspy vocals and then some creepy chanted spoken words similar to the dark ambient witch project Aghast. You know, and this PSUCHAGOGOI has, I think, taken a lot of influence from Aghast, and again, that's a great thing to me because I think that's an amazing project too. Then this track is followed by some spooky but mesmerizing synth effects and melodies, which are totally gripping. Like, it's really amazing stuff. That's why it could be my favorite track on the album. After the track peaks, it then descends into a somber and peaceful, yet still dark, depressive and unsettling melodies. This is also followed by some dramatic grand piano, as well as more minimalist and spacey organ ambience. So again, brilliant stuff. The track remains melodic, but also becomes, of course, melancholic and depressive, and it ends on an eerie note. So yeah, that could be my favorite track, Nocturnal Grounds of the Golden Palace. It certainly is at the moment. Then the final track is entitled Merging of the Realms, very appropriate, because the music matches that. It's an evil, minimalist, dark ambient track, which has a strong sense of urgency, like time is ticking away in a sort of creepy or scary way. So it's very dramatic and terrifying, this last track, quite short too. And the climax of the song is a wondrous atmosphere with a lot of dark ambient and synth effects. It sounds huge, like sort of like the soundtrack to Planetary Collision. And the sound effects on this track, no surprise, they mimic explosions, and they conjure images of things like monumental gates to a kingdom or a massive mountain of ice. I mean, this is just my interpretation from the songs, but you see what I mean. The music and the titles just conjure these powerful images in your head, and they go hand in hand. So, needless to say, I think this is a brilliant album, and you guys should definitely check it out if you like dark ambient. So as I mentioned, if you like any or a combination of these projects, you should definitely check out PSUCHAGOGOI. So if you like Aghast, Mortis, Neptune Towers is a strong influence on this album, as well as Burzum, Lull, Beherit, Streborg, Zaster, and even Horner. But absolutely fantastic stuff. And like I said, I think this one builds landscape shifter, but I think Cryptogeist is just, as a songwriter, these songs are becoming more epic, more memorable. And I had something else to say. Yeah, it's the most epic album by her yet. There's more song structure, melody, and memorable songs, yet it's always enchanting and astonishing. So like another epic journey through dark fantasy realms. So brilliant. So anyway, enough talk about the album. You can go and listen to it. By the way, with all the albums and everything, I'll link it in the description, as well as PSUCHAGOGOI's Bandcamp. So comes on this really nice pro-printed golden tape. Look at that, beautiful. And nice script on the actual tape as well. And yep, the case is gold as well. And just show you, here's that awesome cover art. Really suits the music. And the J card is cool, folds out with the logo there. And a picture of Cryptogeist. And as you can see, there are, I mentioned a lot about the vocals on this album. So there are lyrics to the songs. I've got to read these in more detail. I'm sure they're fantastic considering the titles and the quality of the music. But yeah, really cool stuff. And oh yeah, you can see I got copy 30 out of 50. So Cryptogeist very kindly sent me a copy of this after I did the review of the EP. So once again, thanks very much. I really appreciate it. And look forward to new music from you. So yeah, here we go, PSUCHAGOGOI Under a Golden Palace, and it was released by Realm and Ritual, I believe, and she also sent me a bonus badge, which was cool. Where is it? Ah, there we go. Yeah, Realm and Ritual. So the other one was released on Victims of Fate. But yes, there you have it. Absolutely brilliant album of melodic, epic, spacey, and evil-sounding dark ambient. This is PSUCHAGOGOI with Secrets of the Golden Palace. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So like I said, this is probably my favorite album yet. And if you look at my previous video, you'll hear brief descriptions of the other albums as well, which I gave as a kind of intro to that video. But yeah, enough talk from me. Just go and listen to this. It's absolutely brilliant. This is also available on Digipack. I'd love to get the CD version as well. And yeah, in my opinion, this project is just getting better and better, so I can't wait to hear what she does next. So there you have it, PSUCHAGOGOI, Secrets of the Golden Palace, brilliant, check it out. All right guys, so I hope my descriptions weren't too detailed for you, but you know, I'm that kind of person where I don't want to leave anything out, so that's just my style. Hope you could deal with it. But anyway, yeah, definitely go and check this project out, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be back again reasonably soon. There's a few threads coming up, so I'm going to respond to a few of those when I have the time. But yes, more to come, definitely. So once again, to Crypto Guys, thank you very much for sending me this awesome album, and you guys go and check it out. Now, to everyone watching, thanks very much for your support of the channel, and I hope you continue to watch. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.